Imagine building a fortune over decades, only to lose it all overnight. Sounds dramatic? It's more common than you think. In the world of money, getting rich is one game, but staying rich is a whole different challenge. In this video, we'll dive into Chapter 5 of The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a chapter that holds a profound truth. What it takes to earn money is not the same as what it takes to keep it. Stick with me, because by the end of this chapter, you'll have a blueprint for financial survival and stability, not just success. Let's get started. The harsh truth. Wealth is easy to lose. Morgan opens Chapter 5 with a simple yet uncomfortable truth. Getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there, but keeping money requires the opposite. This insight immediately reframes the way we think about wealth. You can be a genius at creating money and still be foolish with keeping it. Real-life examples. Mike Tyson earned over $400 million in his boxing career and declared bankruptcy. Elizabeth Holmes raised billions with a revolutionary idea, only to see it collapse because of lies and overconfidence. Even financial institutions like Lehman Brothers collapsed not because they didn't know finance, but because they didn't understand risk management. The point is, intelligence and boldness can build wealth, but only humility and caution can keep it. 3 key traits for staying wealthy. Morgan outlines 3 critical character traits that help you stay wealthy. 1. Frugality. Not in the miserly sense, but in the mindset of restraint. Spending less than you earn creates a cushion, a margin of safety. Being frugal means you have control over your money, not the other way around. Frugality protects you from life's surprises, illness, recession, job loss, without needing to sell your investments or go into debt. Example: Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958, not because he can't afford a mansion, but because frugality is a philosophy, not a restriction. 2. A margin of safety. This means always leaving room for error in your decisions. You don't drive your car at 200 km/h every day, because there's no margin for error. So why would you invest every rupee you have without a backup? The wealthy often seem conservative, not because they're afraid, but because they respect uncertainty. The most important part of every plan is planning on your plan, not going according to plan. 3. Paranoia, in a healthy dose. This doesn't mean living in fear. It means acknowledging that the future is unpredictable. Even Jeff Bezos once said, "Amazon is not too big to fail. In fact, I predict one day it will fail." Successful people don't assume they're invincible. They constantly prepare for disaster, not because they expect it, but because they know it's possible. Lesson: the longer you stay in the game, the greater your chances of long-term wealth. But you can't stay in the game if you're knocked out by one risky decision. Why it's so hard to stay wealthy. We live in a world that rewards boldness, hustle, and high risk. Most financial media glorifies 10x investment returns, overnight success stories, billionaires who bet it all and won. But what you rarely hear about are the ones who bet it all and lost. Human psychology. We are wired to chase more money, more status, more power. But Morgan reminds us, the ability to stop, to say, "I have enough," is one of the rarest and most powerful. Financial skills. Greed is what makes people forget risk. And without respect for risk, you can't stay rich. Every market crash, every bankruptcy, every financial collapse, most are rooted in the assumption that good times will last forever. The fallacy of permanence. Nothing lasts forever. Morgan uses the example of economic bubbles to show how overconfidence ruins wealth. Think of the dot-com crash, 2000, the housing bubble, 2008, even the crypto crash, 2022. In all these cases, smart people lost fortunes, not because they were wrong, but because they refused to believe they could be wrong. Survival is the key. If you can survive long enough, you'll get your turn again. But if you go bust, your turn never comes. The barbell strategy. A balanced approach. Morgan subtly advocates what's called a barbell strategy in behavior. On one side, you take calculated risks to grow wealth. On the other, you act paranoid enough to survive unexpected blows. This blend of aggressive optimism plus cautious defense is what separates long-term winners from short-term flukes. This is how someone like Charlie Munger or Howard Marks operates. They understand the balance between bravery and fear. You can be wrong half the time and still build a fortune if you're prepared to survive. Let's break this down into clear, usable lessons. Lesson 1. Wealth is not just about making money, it's about keeping it. Lesson 2. Avoid the all-in mindset. Always have cash, backup plans, and a plan B. Lesson 3. Don't be fooled by success. Ask, did they win because of skill or luck? Lesson 4. Never assume the future will behave like the past. Lesson 5. You only need to get rich once. Don't lose it trying to get richer. Now here's a question for you. What if I told you that being reasonable with your money is often better than being rational? Sounds strange, right? But that's exactly what Morgan explores in the next chapter. And it might just change the way you make every financial decision from here on out. So stay tuned for Chapter 6. Tails, You Win, where we uncover why a small number of decisions create most of the wealth in the world. Let us know in the comments. What trait do you think is most important to stay wealthy? And if you got value from this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive summaries.